Hello, good people. Hello. If you hear me, send me them likes. Send me them likes. Kana muri kundinzwa, kana muri kundinzwa. Ndipe my likes if you can hear me. Kana muri kundinzwa, ndipe zvima likes. Ndipewo zvima likes. Send the hearts, send them alive. Yes. Ndipe my likes. All right. It's 9 o'clock. Central African time. Kwaziwai makadi munofara here. Kwese kwamuri kutuona tiri. Imbonyora muri kutiona muri kupi? Where are you watching from? Just type where you are watching from. Ndimboona kuti how wide is my net? Nasi kuri kupisa. Nasi it's quite a warm day. Yes. Kana muri kundiona rabai muchiisa zvima likes tione kuti totangira papi. Nhasi tine nyaya hombe but iri diki saka toda kungoiti ga vanhu voenda kunorara vachidumbirwa here kana kuti vachifara because tichakupai tsanangudzo. Nhasi tingori kushandirai chete, hatina zvatiri kuda kunyanya kuita. Ndine urombo nhasi we were supposed to have a guest who was coming to join us and help us dissect issue that we started last week, but unfortunately they had other commitments, but they promised that they will join us next week on Monday. So make a date with us Monday, the 5th of May. Saka, we will be alive with them. And this time around, I'm sure we'll be able to open the platform for you guys to ask questions, because I think this gentleman who is coming to join us on that particular day is well informed. Is a guy who was also in the thick of things. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. There is a lot of things that makes me a little bit nervous, especially when I'm dealing with these things, because I know I'm about to ruffle feathers. I'm about to delve into issues that have been kept a secret, and unbecoming things that are being done by people we have trusted for so long. So, yeah. Today's episode, I have named it Smoke and Screens, Money Heist or Not. It's a very sensitive issue that I'm going to discuss with you here. And everything I'm going to discuss with you, or I'm going to say here, I've seen the documentation, I've seen the bank statements, I've seen the details. I've collaborated the information from various sources who have confirmed the information. And these allegations, so to say, can be substantiated, number one. Number two, are being dished out to you guys so that you know and understand the nature of the system that you're dealing with. There are going to be questions asked, or probably you may have questions that you're asking. You've contributed to a building fund, yet you have not seen the building. You've read the rumors of a mansion in South Africa. Is it true? Is it a lie? Is there a building in South Africa? Is there a mansion in South Africa? Is Apostle Chiwenga staying in South Africa? Yes, he's staying in South Africa. But where is he staying? How did he acquire the property he's staying? Does he own the property? Or he rents the property? If he's renting it, from whom is he renting it from? If he purchased it, where did he get the money from? These are the questions that we are going to try and answer here. And everything that I'm going to say to you, everything that I'm going to discuss to you, to discuss with you, or maybe to you rather, because certainly I won't be asking you questions, but I will be seeing you I will be seeing your responses, obviously. The idea is not to shame anybody. The idea is not to incite anybody. The idea is just for you, just to give you a window through what is happening, good or bad. So fasten your seatbelt whilst we delve into this treacherous territory. I know the people I'm dealing with here do not like me, most of them. Because obviously, I'm me. I chose to be me. So we have Apostle Chiwenga, a man I would call a charismatic preacher, who rose to fame a few years ago. Apparently, the man has started preaching in 2014. He was little known. 2014, 2015, nobody really knew about Apostle Chiwenga. The man was doing everything he can to preach the gospel. He broke into the limelight by attacking other preachers. He attacked Baba Guti. He attacked Emmanuel Makandiwa. He attacked Magaya. He attacked Manangu. He attacked Hubert Angel. He attacked every other preacher that you know. He had a point, or maybe not. These preachers I've just mentioned, he said they were stealing from their followers. They were stealing from their congregations by giving them fake promises, by telling them that God will bless them if they give him the monies. Foolish or not, the people gave them monies. Some of them were blessed, I guess. Unfortunately, some were not. He said these preachers were using gimmicks, eloquence, and chicanery to convince the followers to cede their monies. Yesteryear, we all fell in love with this preacher. We believed that we had arrived. We believed that he had a right message from the heaven. He was the man of the moment, at least for a few of us. But to the outside world, he was very unpopular. People didn't like his boldness. People never liked his approach. People hated him. But a few of us chose to give him a benefit of doubt. Why? Because the message he was preaching resonated well with us. Even today, my thought processes, the way I view the world, the way I understand the gospel, the way I see everything around me, it was shaped by him. Maybe you also. Your view was shaped by him. The man has drilled into our hearts, the deeper places and spaces in our hearts and souls. He has drilled his message. And we will never be the same again. And when we were hurt, we were disappointed with the sudden change of the events, sudden turn of the events. We were so shocked. Fast forward. We've been renting properties from people who never liked Jesus Revelation Ministries. Sometimes we would struggle to secure a rent just because it's Apostle Chiwenga. Anotuka Mama Church. Anotuka Mwashumiri. But that, we felt that it was a necessary humiliation. Why? Because we believed the man. Possibly we believed in the man. That was an interesting time of my life. A lot of people believed world over. Zimbabwe, South Africa, Mozambique, Botswana, far and beyond. UK, Canada, USA, the message spread like wildfire. The men came in limelight. The men became popular. Probably, I think, the turning point was when he attacked Grace Mugabe. That was a daring move. Quite daring. We all liked it. We all cheered him on. He broke into limelight. To some, they may say it was a well-calculated move. To some, they say he was just a voice of God. He became the man. Even the secular world trusted in him, believed that this guy was the apostle of our time. He would stand before anyone. Not only did he challenge Grace Mugabe, he also challenged his own cousin brother, the most feared general. Indeed, we all know what happened. The man faced threats, the man faced danger until he escaped the country and left. But before he left, he had always been talking about doing a big, massive project. He wanted to build a church. Massive, a mega structure, a mega church, you would say. This was his dream. Even in his early days of the ministry, he always dreamt of building this church. The dream was sold to everybody. It was sold to you. It was sold to me. It was sold to all and sundry. We bought into the dream. We supported the dream. We believed. All we wanted was just to have a property of our own. All we wanted was just to have a place of worship. All we wanted was just a place where we would go and do what we want when we want. Because we had seen it all. A fundraising was launched. Maybe just to delve into the nitty-gritties of the story. The nitty-gritties of the story. A daring move was done, was planned. To many, it was just to raise money for the building fund. To others who see beyond the smoke, who see beyond the screens, it was a killer move. A means to an end. Was it? I don't know. That's for you to tell. A fundraising was set in motion, and before the fundraising was set in motion, a committee was selected. A committee was put in place. Committee may be a board of trustees, or maybe a trust was registered, which was going to spearhead these projects. The trust was in the custodianship of two bishops. I'm not sure if it's wise for me to say the names here. I don't want lawsuits coming after me. The two bishops were responsible for managing or oversighting, or they were the custodian of the trust. And the trust was registered under the name of blah, 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 blah. I'll blabber. I'll highlight this one. I'll not say it. And then the people who were in the trust were regional coordinators from all over the world. These are the people who were supposed to spearhead the fundraising, the acquisition of the property, the development of the church. Quite an inspiring move. Doesn't it? Makes sense, does it? It does. Makes sense. You also need coordinators who are busy leading people from various sections, from various regions to come in and help you raise the funds. Okay. Name them. I'll try to. Let me summon the courage to name them, or probably my icy water. Now, these two bishops would oversee the activities of regional coordinators. So technically, all the monies that were raised from various regions were siphoned to one place. They would be collected and would be sent to one account which was created in the UK. The funny thing is, which I still don't understand, is this account could be held in South Africa, where the economy or the currency is a bit more stable, but no, it wasn't in South Africa. This account could be held elsewhere, but anyway, this account is held in the UK. There's one bank account, which is the major account. There are other small accounts in the UK. And this account, they only have one person who is the signatory. And this person, from everyone I have spoken to, everyone who has contributed to tonight's episode, they have one word in common. This is actually Mama's number 2. The committee or the trust was supposed to oversee the movement of funds and everything else. But apparently, they were only sent into oblivion after the first move. The first move, December 2021. The committee had raised £309,000. Did you hear that? Not £309. The actual figure was £306 and 59 pence. This is the total amount which was raised. £306,000 and 59. Sorry, forgive me. But the target was £453,986. This amount was going to enable the church to buy the stand and then to do the first bits of construction so that we have a decent place to conduct our services. Unfortunately, or fortunately, £306,000 was raised to that effect. There are two notions after this amount was raised. Some say by December 2021, 306,000 had been raised, but they had already started to do purchases. Some say in August 2021, a property, a 15-hectare farm was purchased in Melfort. I have the address. I have all the details. A farm was purchased, and if you listened to our conversation with Pastor Marangi had initially said the money that was contributed, nothing was purchased. There is a counter statement or a counter notion or a counter to that statement that in actual fact, a farm was purchased in August 2021, and this farm cost $300,000 US, which equated to 185,873 pounds. Yeah, this was the cost of the farm. It's a 15-hectare farm. The good part of it is it's a title deed, which is a good thing. I would say, in my honest opinion, the trust did well. They bought a stand, they bought a farm. 15 hectares is quite a big land to do a lot of things. Quite a big space. Now, after the church was bought, this is the first notion. After the church was bought, the church farm, so to say, was bought in 2021, August. There is a lot of events that transpired between that time and December 2021, where we got to know of the final amount which was raised through the year. As you may all know, the apostle faced imminent danger, and he had always faced imminent danger. He had long gone to South Africa. How he was staying in South Africa remains a mystery. Whether he had permanent residence, whether he was on visit visa or clergyman visa or anything, I don't know. But he was in South Africa. Obviously, a move was made. A decision was made outside the trust. Outside the trust, the decision was made to acquire a property in South Africa. A property that has caused a lot of turmoil, a lot of joy to some, a lot of anger and animosity to some. Some have said it's misappropriation of funds. The funds should have been used to develop the church. But there is a notion, there is an allegation that says, Mama said, I want a house to live in. It's a mission house. It's a church house. A house was bought in Centurion in December 2021. It was an old dilapidated house with a big yard, and a lot of work had to be done on it. A house was bought for 2.4 million rands. Yeah, I guess it's cash. Of course, they could have mortgaged, but they chose to pay it for cash. The money that was used to pay for the church, according to Notion 1, is the change which was left from the fund that was the building fund. If you do your maths correctly, you would find that there was about 120,000 with a few pounds out, which was left in the building fund. It is from that fund, from that money, that the Centurion house was bought. If you convert 2.4 million to rands, it will come up to about 100,000 pounds. After the house was purchased, obviously a studio had to be constructed. The house had to be spruced up. In my understanding, Mama would simply issue an instruction to the trustee or board of trustees or to the committee or to the bishop that he wants some money, and the money will be sent to South Africa. A transaction that I saw, 200,000 went to South Africa to construct the studio. I have no knowledge of how much was spent on sprucing up the house. You may be asking, in whose name is the house registered? Do you want to know? No, you don't. Because if you know it, you'll be pissed off. And I'm not going to tell you. Or probably you already know. Yeah. It's not in church's name. No. That's an allegation, of course, from what I've heard. The funny thing is, the people who are telling me this information are the people who are involved in these deals and shenanigans. Why they are letting me know? I don't know. Only God knows. They are also pissed off. There is no unity. The center cannot hold. The center cannot hold. So from my maths, we targeted to raise 500,000. We raised 306,000. 306 get that right, 300,000 more than 6,000 pounds. That money could have built a church. The original plan was acquire a stand, 300,000 was fine, and then develop a little bit, put agri structures. I'm told they would put those big agri structures, the steelworks, and put a roof. Obviously, those ones would enable us to at least function or have something to work with. Yeah? Yeah. So, the money that was supposed to do the phase, because I'm told there were 2 phases to this project, if not 3. The first phase was to acquire a property, which is the church stand or a farm, which was done. Hands up, or I would say thumbs up to the people who acquired this property according to the notion 1. You did well. You did a good job. You did well. Now, when you were supposed to do the next stage, that's when you lost control. Those who have worked with Mama will understand this. When you want something from you, he would rather twist your arm to make it happen, to see it that you do it, rather than just let you win. He is one guy who cut his nose to spite his face. I've worked with him. Some have worked with him. I don't hate the man. I like him. Except he's just an egomaniac. I have my weakness. He has his own. And for me to come in and say all this that I'm saying, it's not because I hate him. No, I don't. I'm just a kid that he trained for some 8 or so years when I was in JRM on how to do things. The very things that he can't do himself. We accused Guti, we accused Makandiwa, we accused everyone else who was doing this. So there are no sacred cows. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I may not see you tomorrow because of this information that I've shared. But I don't feel bad I shared it. The opulence that you see, the luxury that you see. Anyway, there was a lot of change that was left anyway after buying the Centurion house. A Land Cruiser. Do you know the God Land Cruiser is driving? Anyway, remember that building fund is not the only source of income to GRM. If we are to look at the amount of offerings that comes through a month, they clock to plus or minus 20,000 a month, allegedly. The contributions clock between $20,000 to $40,000 a month, allegedly. So basically, we are talking about big money spinning here. I mean, you can't blame him. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. Everyone who opens the church, he knows that this is a big money spinning scheme, and it pays off. You may struggle in the early days, but eventually you will hit the jackpot. Anyway, there is the notion number 2. So the first notion says, money was raised, church was bought. The change was then used to buy the Centurion house. Then there is another notion that I collaborated from other sources. They say, monies were contributed. But then number 1 realized he's not going to come to Zimbabwe. He's not going to come back to Zimbabwe. Why? Because of the reason that we all know. Someone was after his life. So definitely he wasn't coming back to Zimbabwe. So why would he develop a property in Zimbabwe, which he's never going to use? I mean, we thought it was a church's project. But alas, I'm made to understand. The property was then bought because the committee, the bishops insisted. Still in this scenario, a property was bought, but not at first. Some say the house was bought first using the first funds, the funds that came first. Then the house was bought. But then there was an outcry. There was an upheaval from the people who had paid these monies. And then they realized they had messed up big time. And people had to burn midnight candle trying to come up with ways and means to make sure that they purchased the property. What do? They came back to people again. And then they said, what? Guys, let's contribute again. A further £100,000 plus or minus was raised. And it was thrown again in the same pot, the building fund. Put together with the change that was left from the initial fundraising, then the property was purchased. The change which was left was used for other adventures, or so to say misadventures. In one of the episodes, we are going to talk about certain characters. When you see them, you think they are nanny event or they are nanities, but in actual fact, they're pulling the strings. At the moment, the queen bee, the main man, the number 2, is not PGB. No. It's not Chuma. No. It's a gentleman in UK. He's the signatory to an account which to date could be holding about £120,000. He's the sole signatory. In UK, the church has so many members, deacons, who could be co-signatories. But obviously, just like in our political parties, the systems are set up in such a way that they're easy to manipulate. It's just a matter of phone call. Then somebody flies a whole plane and delivers the money to South Africa. What do they use the money? Shopping, holidays, and cover-ups. People are being paid, allegedly, for cover-ups. So in tonight's episode, since my guest had withdrawn, I thought, well, this is a developing story that I'm still chasing. I could just share with you some snippets. Remember, the Board of Trustees lost control after they purchased the stand in Melfort. They lost control whatsoever. They lost control. They were no longer consulted. They were only issued with instructions. Mama has said, Tipe Maria Kat, and one bishop who was the chairman, who just signed it off. I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody. It's just how things have always been. If people cannot be trusted by a few cents, how can you trust them by dollars? So obviously, this and other things that are happening behind the scenes, which you will never know. If you are looking forward to see a church being constructed, the unfortunate news that I may want to tell you is there is a move to dispose the property in Melfort, allegedly. Even though there is resistance within the rank and file, there is a move to dispose the Zimbabwe property and acquire property in South Africa. Well, the man is never going to come back to Zimbabwe. So, I don't know. I don't know where this leaves you. Did you contribute? If you did, at least now you have answers where your money went. Are you going to get it back? No. So, everything that I've said here is based on facts. I know it's always fair to say anyone who has been mentioned here, the idea was not to embarrass them, neither was it to put them in harm's way. The idea was just to put everything to the fore so that everyone understands and knows things that you have been hiding. I know you are here watching. I know they are here watching. I know they can hear me. They can see me. How did I get this information? I just have mere conversations with people who are equally troubled. Then some would say, why was the board of overseers of the steward and everyone else was dissolved? Strategic move. These were just ponies on the chessboard, on the grand scheme of things. Number one, the overseers stood in the way. The overseers, some, so to say, there was a division amongst the overseers in the board of directors. Not the board of directors, the board of bishops and stewards. There was division. People were asking questions. People demanded transparency. And some left. Some stayed. Those who left, they left on a matter of principle. Those who stayed because either they don't know what is happening behind the scenes. Because apparently when the Centurion property was purchased, the trust didn't know. It was only the board of ministers who made the move. So who was standing in the way? Everyone who stood in the way. Ask them where they are today. Some say we were disappointed by PGB or by EVM or by PE. I don't understand your disappointment. Who would leave something that is now making mega millions? These people have never worked in their lives. They've never earned that much in their lives. This is just simple money that's coming their way. Yeah. They're not going to listen to you. You are nothing to them. They're going to listen to who is funding their opulence. They're going to listen to where their money is coming from. We left the church JRIM that you used to know. It's gone. It's dead. It's done. We have a new animal, which is called the kingdom of God. You read me right. The kingdom of God. Whatever that means. Church JRIM, it's gone. Never to be seen. Never to be heard. Then you may ask me, What is the end game? End game for who? You don't have end game. Your game is done. You gave him the money. You're done. They have the last say, and they have the last laugh. And you ain't getting nothing. You may ask me, what should I do next? Nothing. Chill. Relax. And wake up. When they see you, they see the money. Every now and again, there's going to come new schemes, new methods. Right now, you're working towards starting $1 million company. Yeah, $1 million company. If they couldn't be honest with a few things, think about $1 million. You're going to be a millionaire with them. I don't know, guys. Everything I said in this, if these people choose to sue me one day, Moya Monditro offering. Moya Monditro offering. Because I don't earn that much. Inini ne mama caregivers and those who are kanga achita building. They picked so many shifts. Wamuwaone msana ichadi. Just to do this project. But guess what? Yeah, so I to get a Makandiwa. At least Makandiwa is something to show for his, for everything that he did to his people. Guti has something to show. Yeah. And now Mama has something to show. A mansion in Centon. A mansion in Centurion. What do I know? I don't know. If you think what I'm saying is a lie, how about you go and ask? Whoever you should ask. Go on. Ask them. Be that as it may, the UK guy is eating big time. Big time. I started to know of this sometime in 2022, 21, in COVID. When one of the leaders in UK phoned me and gave me some gory details. Especially, it was about how we kept on buying new cars and they kept on doing what they did, right? And then from that conversation, he then said a lot of things, which I'm not happy to talk about here, because I don't want to end up being in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. But one thing that I can tell you guys, as a matter of fact, there is a stand. I have the address with me. So whoever wants the address, I don't want to check out here. No address, inbox, or the actual stand is there. I've confirmed that. Yeah. Then dojinjakashanda mari yenyu chocho. Then imba Land Cruiser nezvimwe zvakadaro. Izvo zvazvo I can't really say. Saka breakdown of the amounts which were raised. Target yava 453,986,000. Ndobva paraiswa 306,059,000 pounds. Ndobva patengwa property 185,800. Imi, ndakutodza kuerenga mari idzi guys. Isi takajara kuerenga $100 guys. 185,873 pounds, which is equivalent to 300,000 US dollars. Do yakazotenga estate iri pa Eureka of Dana, which is something that makes me happy anyway. I'm actually happy, to be honest. I'm actually happy kuti in all the shenanigans and anything property yakatengwa, but the fact that they are trying to dispose of it is sadistic And I don't think it's a wise move. So one of these episodes, I'll tell you one thing that I've unraveled. Whilst I was pursuing these stories, I ran into a story about two women who were tasked to do a certain job. Yeah, they were tasked to do a certain job. And that job has created more chaos than you guys can imagine. So this sums up tonight's episode. I hope, guys, you will have fun. I hope you take this information, maybe with a pinch of salt. Maybe you do your own verifications. And these are just allegations. I've seen documents. They may have been cooked. But this is what I found out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next episode. On Monday, the 5th of May, where I'll be hosting one of the gentlemen, where we are going to delve into other issues relating to this whole story. In another episode, I'll deal with these two women. I still have a lot of people coming to my inbox who want to take part in these live streams. I'll take time to vet individuals, to collaborate their stories before we can bring them here. The idea is not to shame anybody. The idea is not to create an enmity between me, Apostle Chwenga, and anyone else who is involved in this. The idea is just to seek transparency. Who knows? One day I might find myself back to JRM. Who knows? I may never be there again. But ideally, the JRM platform is no longer a conducive environment to ask questions. If you dare to ask questions, you're said to be a threat. You're said to be a cunning individual, somebody who doesn't want to learn, somebody who goes against what Mama says. But that's not the truth. The JRM we used to know we would ask questions. The JRM we used to know we were happy to talk to our ministers. The JRM we used to know we were happy to interact with them. Any type of question, foolish and wise question, we would ask. And the answers would be given. But anyway, the platform is no longer there. So we